Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Christine and I'm here to talk to you about resumes. Right now I want to go over resumes because in 2020 it's going to be very competitive. Because of the whole COVID-19 situation, a lot of companies are laying off people, and especially for college seniors, they're fighting against that already competitive landscape to now an extremely competitive landscape. This resume that I'm going to be going over is going to be very specific to if you're a young adult or a college senior. I am an Accenture technology consultant. I do a lot of Workday financial implementations. I went to Boston University studying business, concentrating in finance, management, information systems, and strategy and innovation. To those that are new to my channel, I'm mostly going over professional development and career development skills, consulting, travel vlogs, because like what consultant doesn't like traveling, and my cats. So you're gonna see actually a lot of cats in this video. The first thing I want to note is that I am by no means a resume expert. I just have done a lot of informational interviews with people out in the industry, either in recruiting or maybe just out there. I actually see a lot of conflicting feedback, but mostly from very competitive companies. I've asked them to review my resume, and they actually do look for something a little bit different, because being in a Fortune 100 company tends to have a lot more competition. And when you have a lot of competition, you're not going to really stand out. So today I'm going to go over formatting, do's and don'ts, and how to stand out. So the average time it takes for a recruiter to actually look at your resume is 6 seconds. You're watching this video right now, trying to put in all this work to make this amazing resume to catch a recruiter's eye, to only be looked at for 6 seconds. The real purpose of this resume is to get an interview, not exactly a job. So you want to be able to see that, like, okay, you check all the boxes of the job listing or even the company itself. With that, they have to spend 6 seconds to see if you're a good fit, but also 6 seconds to see if they want to interview you, because you don't necessarily have to be an amazing fit or like amazing candidate for this. If they see that there's something on your resume that you're interested in, then they may want to call you in for an interview. We're gonna go over some formatting and basics, and then we're gonna go into do's and don'ts. Then we're gonna go into how to stand out in 2020. We're going to be reviewing Don Wong's resume here. And if you've noticed, it's actually a real resume with my cat's name on it. So my Russian blue kitten, her name is Dawn. We're gonna be using this resume as a model throughout today's video. Regarding formatting, like I mentioned before, this video is mostly for young adults, college students, college seniors. So we're gonna note that because of that, you're probably not gonna have enough experience to make it to 2 pages. So recruiters really need to see 1 page. A lot of times they may not even get to see the second page. They're gonna expect to look at your resume, and they may not even go to the next page or flip over to the next side. If you have to actually tell the recruiter or tell your interviewer, hey, you're gonna need to flip to the other side, that's already a huge turnoff already, what you should put into your resume itself. So the second part is sections of your resume. Moving on to the header, which is the first thing we should have noticed. Nowadays, like, you have mostly online applications, you would put your address there to begin with. And a lot of recruiters tell me they don't actually need their address on there. In fact, it could be a little off-putting. Think about it, like if you were to distribute your resume, they're not gonna go knocking down on your house. They're not gonna mail you anything. They have application and distribution lists for that. Another thing you want to notice, that if you do get a website or you want to post your resume on your LinkedIn, that would be even more difficult, because then you're actually telling everyone where you live. You don't want that. So regarding the sections of the resume, you're going to see the objective of your resume as well. We want to take out the objective. And the reason being is that, like, a lot of old traditional resumes are going to say, yes, put an objective, but now it's actually not the best way to go about it. The better way to go about it is maybe a summary if you do need to fill some space. But in general, your resume should speak for itself of why you should be a good fit. Why do we not want an objective is that when you're going for a resume, you're really trying to show what value can I bring to the company. When you do an objective, it's actually showing what value can the company do for me. And a lot of times you can actually kind of explain that in a cover letter or not even at all. The first thing we want to note is that because you're a student or because you're new in the workforce, you should actually have education at the top. This is going to be especially different for you guys than it is for later on, because you're primarily a student. You don't really have the work experience, so your education goes at the very top. If you put your education at the very top, that would be ideal, because then you can highlight the program when you're graduating, your GPA if it's higher than 3.5, which we're going to get into later. So things like that would be very easy for the recruiter to tell, are you even a good fit? Because a lot of recruiters, They see if you're graduating in 2020. We don't want to look at any resumes that are graduating in like 2021, 2022, because clearly that's the kind of resume that the education section would help accomplish. Then we move over to work. This work does not necessarily mean internships only. This could be like part-time jobs, work-study jobs, or any volunteer job. And then you're gonna have your leadership experience. This is actually especially important for students because you probably don't have a lot of experience right now, work experience specifically. It could be something as like if you're leading in a sorority or a club, or even if you're like a leader at your work-study job. Maybe even something like you're leading at your volunteer job. So anything like that shows that you have some kind of leadership, and that's what they really want. Because if you're a student and you just have like a good GPA and probably not that much work experience, the only thing that you can really appeal to when it comes to internships and jobs is the actual leadership experience itself. If you don't have any leadership experience, it's fine. Most likely you do have something out there somewhere. You just need to dig into it. I also added an academic project into there because if you do not have any leadership experience or that much work experience, you can utilize academic projects. On this resume, there's only going to be one, but you can maybe have like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 that it shows that you worked in a team and shows exactly how you took ownership of specific tasks or sections of the project. So this academic project will be especially helpful for you. So moving over to the body of the actual content itself, the bullets. We're gonna see that the bullets are nice and one line, and you're gonna see in this one right here, it's 2 lines. Remove a word, maybe change a word to make it a little bit shorter. Ideally, you want it to make it easy on the eye to look at. So if you think about how your eye works, you will look at from start to end, and then you actually may forget that there's a word on the second line. Depending on the type of field you're going for, your resume will actually look different. No surprise that if you're in academics or science or medical field, you're gonna have a CV. But what I'm talking about is mostly like if you're in business and tech, you would have this kind of resume that we're gonna be showing you about Dawn's resume. But if you have creative, you're actually gonna see it's mostly gonna be colors, patterns. A lot of times it's mostly about branding. So creative does not necessarily mean you have to be a graphic designer. It could simply mean that you're like in brand management or marketing or social media, so that kind of aesthetic. So we've just gone over formatting and what to put onto your resume. Whew, that was a lot of tips right there. We're gonna take a break and we're gonna introduce my cats.
Hi little baby boy. Hi little baby boy. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Let's get this sweet girl a job today. We're gonna get her a job today.
The next section we want to go over is do's and don'ts. So this is incredibly important because a lot of these are actually conflicting information from the traditional resume to the competitive resume that it is today. Don't do passive verbs. So it could be as simple as like, I have helped my shop manager to go stock items. So you've used a passive verb there. An action verb could be something like, I helped, demonstrated, achieved, led. Those are very strong, powerful words. Another thing I want to note that I do see from a lot of beginner resumes is that if you've already done the job, make sure to make all those verbs past tense. You're a sophomore in college and you have a freshman year experience on there that you finished, make sure to have all of them in past tense. And then when it comes to sophomore and on, you do present tense because you're currently still in that jobs or you're doing it right now. But make sure that this is a really good reason why when you update the resume to also change your past and present tense when it comes to these verbs. Another very important thing is that a resume is not necessarily showing you what you did in a job, it's actually to show you what you've accomplished. So this is very important because, and specifically if you were in a team, they want to see what you did in the team at least. Let's even use like another example. Let's say that you worked at Shake Shack and you are a server. If you're a server at Shake Shack, what can you really put in? There's actually a lot of things you can do. So let's say that you're in the New York City location. You've been serving 10,000 customers a day in New York City, high-paced traffic. Was going to be, wow, you put some kind of value to it. You quantified your achievements in there. And that's actually very important because it's one thing to say what you did, but to show that you actually accomplished to that level, That's actually pretty amazing. This is a really good tip because a lot of times people just say, yeah, you served, you like worked on the cash register, or you like flipped patties and everything. But doing that will show to the recruiter itself that if you are trying to do a very fast pace or high stress environment, it will show that you have done it before, even something in like fast food chain. So the other thing that I mentioned is that like because the recruiter does see your resume for only 6 seconds or about there, around there, so you want to put your most relevant experience on the top. Don't put it in reverse chronological order. This is a very traditional way of doing a resume, but it's not going to be successful. Like if you did something last year where it's a lot more relevant to the job, you put that as the first thing. Then maybe like the one you did this year, make that second. So you have to try to look at the job posting, see which one would be a better fit for that kind of role, and then just adjust accordingly. This also means your bullet points. If your specific bullet points are showing, like, let's say that I'm going for tech consulting. I want to show the consulting skills on the top and then maybe like the Excel work on the bottom. So that way it will show that I'm a better fit for not only just the job, but also for the skills itself and what I've achieved. Another do and don't that I see is that this standard is keep on going up, is no matter how competitive the landscape is, the GPA requirement is going higher. This also means that if you do have a GPA of like a 3.0, it's not that impressive anymore. You want to be able to put on your resume only when it's like higher than 3.5. And in most cases, a lot of times they will ask for your transcript or ask for your GPA in somewhere or another. So if you put on the resume, that will just be the first thing that you're putting to their attention. If you're like a college freshman or college sophomore, you don't have much experience, you can kind of keep your high school experience, but in general, you want to put only your experience from college in there. So anything that you did college freshman year, college sophomore year, if you're like a college junior and senior, you definitely take out your high school experience. I actually had a funny experience when I was trying to review my resume, and the first thing my friends were like, why are you putting your Girl Scouts experience on there? So what value does it have to have Girl Scouts on there? Like, it will show that you're a humanitarian, so maybe for those kind of roles it would be, but if I was going for like a business internship, it's not gonna really help. So we're gonna go over to the skills and interests, and you don't want hobbies and interests on there. That's actually the purpose of your interview. That's the purpose of meeting face to face. Interests do not have any place in the resume at all. You want to appeal, how are you a good fit for the job? Interest does not really help for that. If you are interested in, for example, like cryptocurrency and you're going for a fintech company or a fintech role, it's not really going to help you at the end of the day. It could be like anyone could be interested, but we want to see what you're skilled in or what you've accomplished, maybe some work experience, classes that you've taken. So make sure to take that in consideration. Last, we're going over this resume. You're putting in so much work, but how exactly should we apply this? I'm talking mostly sending a one size fits all kind of resume to every job posting. You're not really going to do well like that. You need to really cater each of the job postings to your resume. So how can you do that is that I'll show you a tip right here. We're going to be going over a job posting at Life Sciences Technology Consultant at Accenture. Then we do have this tool that I love to use. It's Jason Davies Word Cloud. For the words that show up the most, it will make it as big as possible. And then it will go down in that kind of gradual progression where if it's a small word, it's probably only showed up like maybe 1 or 2 times. What you want to do is that you copy and paste the job description and skills and qualification into this little word box. And then that's what you will see, is that the big words is what your resume should have. So this is a key to like how search engine optimization would even work. This is how it would work in general when it comes to being competitive in 2020. Nowadays, like a lot of people have not even looked at your resume when you apply online. They actually have AI, artificial intelligence, or a scanner to look at your resume to see, are you even a good fit? Should we even look at your resume? There could be a time where you like apply and then literally 2 minutes later you get a rejection email. It's because they're using the scanner. So this is one way to really try to increase your chances of getting a human to look at your resume, is to make sure you have all those top keywords. So here we see medical, health, patient. The resume we're looking at is business and technology. Why would we even apply for this to begin with? We want to make sure that we're a good fit before we're actually applying. That is one huge tip I have for you. Only apply for jobs and internships that you're interested in and can actually qualify for. In terms of qualifications, I know there's like this ongoing meme going on like, okay, you're like a college entry level and they look for 5 years of experience. That you don't need to worry about. We want to talk about what skills and interests that you have as well. So in this case, interest is not really going to be in that skills and interest section. I'm talking about maybe you worked at the medical industry, maybe you did a medical related job, maybe you did some kind of medical related volunteer experience, volunteer at the Red Cross, so something like that. If you have that kind of experience, it will be a higher chance for you, but you can't really brute force and lie through your way and try to put those words into your resume. So that's just the reality, is that if you want to make yourself competitive and have a really good chance of getting an internship or job, you need to make sure you're a good fit to begin with. You also don't want to waste your time and energy to do this. At the end of the day, as I mentioned before, you should be catering your resume to each job posting. That could literally take 30 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if you're really good at it. But if you think about it, that's a lot of time that you're using for each job and internship application that you're sending out. So you want to make sure that you're not wasting your time and only going for those that you're interested in. That way it could be really good for you, because at that point you've kind of like prepared 50% of the interview, because they're going to ask you like why this company or why this job. So you've already done your research, your resume shows you're a good fit. At this point, it's just making them like you. A little bonus to this is that I'm going to be doing a part 2 of this video, which is not going to be necessarily on the basics, but actually on how to enhance and how to really cater your resume to those job postings. So you want to make it an overall, after you do all this work, your resume tells a story. So that's actually first and foremost what needs to be clear, because the recruiter, they want to see right off the bat, are you a good fit? Can you do the job or the internship? Are you going to demonstrate the cultural skills that they have? Are you flexible? Can you work in a fast-paced environment? Are you creative? Are you innovative? Leader or follower? Those kind of things is what they want to pick up from a resume as well. So at the end of the day, the interview is what's going to help you actually hone in that aspect of like who you are. At least like you're really going to have people see, are you a good fit for the job? So if you do have any questions on any of these tips, please comment down below. If you do have questions, I will try my best to answer every single one of you. If any of these actually has helped you in the past, please let me know too, because I think it would be really great to really support each other. Once again, these are unprecedented times with 2020 COVID-19 situation. I do want to try my best to help you with like jobs and internships. And lastly, if you do like more of these types of videos, so I will be going over like resumes, LinkedIn, what is consulting. So with that, thank you very much, and subscribe if you are interested for more. See you next time. Bye.
Don says thank you for all the hard work you guys have been doing.